Hey guys, welcome back to Ashley's Homestead Adventures. We're in the kitchen this morning and I am just kind of getting some baking started. It is my day off from all of my other jobs, so I'm getting caught up on a little bit of, sorry, my voice is squeaky, of the farm stand stuff. So we're making cookies right now. Other than making cookies, I have fed my chocolate sourdough starter Chalky. He is going to make a chocolate chip loaf. The dishwasher's going, that's the noise in the background. And I have half a cup of sugar in here, and I'm gonna add a quarter of a cup of brown sugar. And we are making other chocolate chip cookies. So other than chocolate chip. So I think we're gonna end up doing Mr. Wonderful's favorite, which is butterscotch chip. I try to keep chocolate chip and then a different chip, whether it be vanilla or peanut butter or butterscotch or pumpkin spice or caramel, or you know, there's all kinds of different chips that you can buy at the store. And but I do believe that today is going to be butterscotch. So we're going to get these cookies started and continue rolling on our day off of catching up with work. In goes about a quarter of a cup of brown sugar. This is local Arkansas honey. If and whenever you can, try to cook with local honey. Just a little FYI for you guys, local honey, there's a reason why local honey has such hype behind it. In the natural, holistic world of treating our bodies, natural honey is got the immunities in it from all of the plants and the pollens and things around us. So if you eat local honey, you are boosting your immune system to the natural allergens that you have locally. So that's why it's important to, you know, eat local honey. That, and it's probably fresher. But the biggest thing is you want to eat honey that is local to your area, so that your body develops an immunity to the pathogens and the pollens and all of the allergens that you have around you. That is one of the things that honey is really, really good for. And so if you can develop an immunity to those things, you will have a better allergy season, you will be a healthier person for it. And so that's why it's important for local honey. That's what all of the hype is about, is basically just building our immune system to deal with the things that we deal with in our immediate environment. Okay. Half a cup of sourdough discard. Add a half a teaspoon of baking soda and a half a teaspoon salt. You want to be able to pick it up and ball it without it sticking. So that is good. This is 1/4 cup scoop. So I'm gonna do 4 of these ish. More is better. Okay, now we are going to take a little break from the kitchen and we are going to go out and get the horses out. They have had their breakfast inside their stalls and it's time for them to go outside for the day. Hello, Tiddlers. Ready to go outside? With a eye issue with Josie for a while, hence the reason why she's got her mask on inside. Started out as a piece of grass in the eye, so we're treating it before she goes outside. Good. Maybe means that it's healing a little bit. Stop, Josie. nightmare. Yes, I'm messing with it a lot, but it needs to be cleaned deeply and messed with. The infection needs to get out of it. And so as long as I'm being careful, which I am, it is going to irritate it a little bit more. But we have to get the infection out of it. So, like with a lot of things with our livestock, we have to, and I'm actually gonna wash that floor mask. I need to flush it, and I need to get the bad stuff out of it. And so, to me, it always looks worse when I'm done working on it. But it's a necessary evil to get it cleaned out. Get off of the medicine table. Okay, so to touch on that just a tad, how do I think it happened? Well, it happened to 3 horses basically right at the beginning of fall, and I believe that it was just, the pasture that they went into had some brittle grasses, and the grasses were getting in their eyes. Or for whatever reason, the hay that they were into, they were really wallowing in it, and so that I did end up pulling. I pulled a grass piece out of Gracie's eye, I pulled a grass piece out of Josie's eye, and one out of Maggie's. Now, Gracie's and Maggie's pretty much went away, and Josie's, as soon as I pulled the grass piece out, flushed them, and they were fine. But then Josie's came back. So, and Maggie's came back a little bit. I've been treating Maggie's off and on. Her eyes looked really good this morning, so I think, fingers crossed, I'm all done. And this has been going on for a process of about 2 weeks. Gracie's was like one and done. I treated her eye for, I shouldn't say one and done, I should say like 2 or 3 and done. I treated the eye for 2 or 3 days before I was able to find the piece of grass, and once I found it, and it was way back in the corner of her eye facing backwards, and so it took me probably 15 minutes to get a hold of that thing. It was a challenge, but once I got a hold of it and was able to pull it out, I flushed her eye really good, and she's been fine ever since. Now Maggie's has come back a little bit, off and on, and I have treated her off and on, but nothing like Josie's. Josie's, I got the piece of grass out, it went away for a day. Her eye looked completely fine for a day, and then now it's back, and it's just progressively gotten worse to the point to where I went to the vet the other day, and showed him pictures and went through the whole thing with him, and he just said, well, he says it's the season, it's, everything's really dry and really brittle around here. The stickers are out like crazy. We have a lot of like really, really teeny tiny stickers. And so it is, and allergens are high. The fall allergens are high. So, he said, just go ahead and do this, treat this. And, if we're not good in another week or so, then let me know. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm just treating the eye every day, twice a day, flushing it. And like I said, it's important to get as much of that infection out every single 12 hours that I can, even if it irritates the eye a little bit more. And we're keeping her mask on 24/7, which she hates, but I can't take a chance of anything, you know, outside getting in. And when her eye is swollen like that, I don't want the flies landing on it and doing their own bacterial nastiness that they do. So that is what I know, that is what I'm doing. And you know, these eye things, they come and go with livestock. It's not really that big of a deal. And so it's not, I know that it seems like a big deal to some of you, but it's, you know, I have eye medication in my medical box, and it's not a big deal for me to break it out, you know, 2 or 3 times a year for allergens, or, you know, they get a grass in their eye or something irritates it, they bump it, you know, they're livestock. They're gonna do things, and they get these minor irritants and things like that. So the swelling that you're seeing in the eye is, you know, it's her body fighting the infection. And the infection, she's doing a good job, because right now we're pretty much white and a little bit of yellow. We have never made it to the green stage with this incident. So she is fighting the infection off well, and I am really not concerned about it, but I do feel like it deserves an explanation for you guys, because I know that not all of you are used to seeing these things, and it might really freak you out, but it's really not that huge of a deal. It is just something that we deal with owning horses. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands real good again and pull my hair back, and we'll get back into the kitchen and working on cookies. Okay, moving on to chocolate chip cookies. There's our 1 stick of butter. Quarter cup of brown sugar. Honey. Chocolate discard. Teaspoon of vanilla. Half a teaspoon of baking soda. Oops. Half a teaspoon of salt. Yep, looks good to me. Cup of chocolate chips. Butterscotch chip cookies are ready to go in the oven. I have preheated the oven to 350. Now we're just going to take 6 of these off of here. Not sure why I did it that way. I did, so we'll fix it. Put these in for 16 minutes. Okay, 16 minutes now. Okay, I need to refill my all-purpose flour jar. Alright, and now we'll go for chocolate other chip. My butter's a little cold, so I'm gonna have to warm it up. These are all just different variations of the exact same recipe. Now, one thing I know that I would wonder if I were watching a movie like this, a video like this, is why the ingredients vary. Like, why do I measure the honey with my heart? And why does the flour vary every time? Well, the flour varies every time, partially because I'm measuring the honey with my heart. But it also varies because of the consistency of my discard. These are discard recipes, and sometimes my discard is runnier, and sometimes it's thicker. So that is kind of one of the things that you learn when you're cooking with sourdough, or really when you're baking at all. A lot of baking is not necessarily to the T. I mean, some recipes are to the T, but a lot of it is by feel. When you're making bread and things like that, it's until it feels good, until the consistency is correct. There's my half a cup of discard. And also, when you're working with farm fresh eggs, eggs aren't always the same size. You know, they're not your, every single one is identical from the grocery store. Eggs, I mean, 2 different eggs from the same coop, 2 completely different sizes and colors. Half a cup of baking soda. I always have to think about that. Is it baking soda or baking powder? And it's the same every time, but I always have to think about it every time. Half a teaspoon of salt. If I said cup before, it's teaspoon, obviously. Lord, I can't even imagine what a half a cup of baking soda in a recipe like this would look like. What that would do in the oven. Wow. It does not seem that any of my that one might actually be fine. Oh God, the butterscotch, just the smell alone is just amazing. It reminds me of, do you guys remember the butterscotch? They probably still have it. I don't know. It's been years since I've been to Dairy Queen. The butterscotch dipped cone from Dairy Queen. That is the nostalgic feeling that my brain gets when I smell these. Yep, they're good. Oh my. Look at them. Don't they look good? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. These bad boys made up. Got lots of other things I want to accomplish today out in the barn and in the yard. So as much as I love to bake, I still have a farm to run. Truthfully, I'm starting to pare down a little bit on my baking so that hopefully next year I can have a better garden season. I was very disappointed in my garden season this year. Non-existent garden season this year. I made my cookies too big. We'll get there. There we go. Okay, y'all. I don't know what it is about. I think it's like where I hold my camera. But anyway, my hat always looks crooked, and I promise you it is not. I have checked it 4 times today. I've gone to the restroom and checked it in the mirror. It is straight. But we're gonna move on to eggs. I need to get what is in the basket into cartons and get it to the farm stand. I do have a waiting list for orders, so I do need to go ahead and get through these and get them to the farm stand for the people that are waiting for them. I am just sorting through these, and Basically, anything that is clean can go into the carton and then can be sold as hatching eggs because they're unwashed. Anything that's dirty is going in the bowl and they will be washed, and then they will be being sold as edible eggs. And that is why you see me doing two different things here. My customers know that I mark my boxes of eggs for washed and unwashed, so when they come to pick them up at the order fridge, they know which ones are washed and unwashed. So they know if they're picking up for edible to not grab the unwashed ones, and for the people that are coming to get them to hatch them out, they get the ones that have a star on them, because they know that I have not washed the bloom off of them. And in order for them to hatch out successfully, it's not absolutely necessary, but it is better if your hatching eggs are unwashed. Now, people have hatched eggs that they've bought from the grocery store before, so, you know, anything's possible, but to give your eggs the best chance. Boy, my well summers are really showing off with their speckles lately. Look at that. Look at those. Aren't those just beautiful? Well, another customer is going to be very happy. This completes their egg order, so they will be overjoyed. We don't have much room in our egg fridge here. We're getting pretty full. I guess that we will have to put it in the other one here. Put these in here until there's room in the other one. It's a good problem to have. Lots and lots of people love our eggs. And I noticed while I was there that my bread bags came, so that's good news. I ran out of my paper bread bags, so I ordered 100 more. Another news, look who's feeling all feisty. Huh, aren't you? Feeling better? It's you. That's gonna do it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you on the next video. Yours truly.